Welcome to the It's Too Late show. I'm your host, Kahlua. Let's bring out our guest for tonight. He's the boogeyman for streamed games. He is a tournament prep advice giver, stream lead for Eminence Gaming. It's Scoop!
Hello!
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
It's been about a year since you've last been on the show. So I wanted to start off by talking about maybe some things that have changed for Eminence Gaming since our last conversation.
Eminence has really been on the rise lately. We went from running just a couple events in 2022 to having Punt City 2, Surfside Showdown, the Cookout, Cash Cards Unlimited 2. We have the Bonfire coming up on the 16th of September back in Phoenixville, and then we have in November it's Charlie's card show. It's the TopDeck.gg Expo in November. So we've been running. We've had more events too. We're running like almost an event a month right now, like a 160 player cap event, and the one in November is a 200 player cap. We have, with our Command Tower software, we've got stores all over the world taking part and joining that family and running their own tournaments. We've seen big ones in like the Pacific Northwest. We even see like 64 person events firing and just seeing stores go crazy. We just did Festival of Nights, which is a partner event with Sword in the Stone. They use Command Tower, and they had Shawnee and I out to do the broadcasting stuff. And yeah, so we've been doing almost a big event a month. We've got partner shops doing events. We've got just normal mom and pop stores doing events. So it's been a pretty whirlwind year. It's been a pretty crazy year. Everyone's been really busy, but it's been good.
Do you feel that cEDH is becoming more popular, or is it just more people returning to their stores, or what do you think is driving the busyness that you guys go on?
So I know specifically, I have seen online the popularity of people like Bryant Cook, Brian Koval, Phil Gallagher, Thrabenue, Billy Mitchell, like the entire cast of the Dark Depth podcast, and some other prominent players, Sam Black being one of them, Drake Sasser. They've brought a lot of new players into the fold, which has been very cool. We're seeing I've seen even online in comment sections, people saying, yeah, no, you starting to play cEDH and feature it on your channel got me into cEDH, and I think it's cool now. So we're seeing an influx of people from other formats of Magic, as well as people who have never played cEDH before but have a relatively high-powered deck coming out to like events. I know there was first-time cEDH players at the Cookout registered, and a lot of people are attending their first tournaments, and with restrictions loosening somewhat, it's been a lot of people have been very eager to get out and be a part. So it's a lot of people coming back to their stores, but there has been a pretty big influx of new players, and that's been good all around.
Recently, you gave some tournament prep advice.
Yes.
I was actually wondering, so a lot of people have kind of a routine that they might do before a tournament, like we're gonna go to sleep early, or what is your routine for you have to stream for an entire day? Do you do anything special like the night before or in the morning?
Around like 8 p.m. I just stopped talking the night before. I just let everything kind of rest. I always have to work the night before. I always have to like set up the broadcast booth in the streaming area. So I don't really get to take a day off, but I do just kind of stop talking around 8 p.m. I'll have like some hot water or some tea that night, and I try to go to bed as early as I can, but it never works out. I don't get much time during the weekend to play like casual games and interact with people and see my friends because I'm in the booth. So I tend to burn the candle at both ends on Friday, and get my gaming in then.
Even though that Ashani got this question wrong about you, I know that you've been on a Korvold arc recently.
I have.
I was wondering,
returning to my roots.
We could take a look at your list here.
Absolutely.
We can go over a little bit as a little bit of a deck tech.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Why Korvold? What does Korvold bring to the table that maybe some other Jund options or other commanders in general don't bring?
Korvold, first of all, because I think Jund is in a really good spot right now. You have a lot of tech in Jund that you either would not run with one more color or is fairly synergistic with the way that you play Korvold, and you just have a high density of like very good cards. Korvold doesn't require much in the way of synergistic pieces to really pop off. Like you have to play Dockside, Extortionist, and Fetch Lands, and if you can get over that hump, you could play Korvold. It has very good removal available to it. Assassin's Trophy, Abrupt Decay, Lightning Bolt, Fatal Push, Deadly Rollick if you're crazy. Lots of good removal pieces. It has enough protection in both Blast, both Veils, and Deflecting SWAT. It doesn't have silences except for Docin and Defense Grid, which are very good. So I guess it does technically have a silence in its colors. It just wins the game because of playing the game, which is my favorite part. Like, you crack your treasure for mana to cast a different spell, but in doing that, you're gaining a card and a counter on Korvold, so it's like very simple. I think that the deck is really well positioned because you get to play the best cards in red, the best cards in green, and the best cards in black. Korvold over other Jund options. I tried Prosh a long time ago, but that was when Food Chain was the only way that you won with Jund commanders before Dockside was printed. And Korvold's synergy with Dockside and the fact that there are just so many reanimation effects just make, I think, Korvold the best Jund option fairly handily, fairly easily.
Yeah.
The best Jund option. Yeah, I mean, and at the end of the day, he's a big dragon, which is like a selling point, you know?
Let's take a look at your list. I'm going to ask you some includes or reasons why you included some things that you might not see normally. You have in your instance, Once Upon a Time. What are your thoughts? How's that card been for you, and why did you include it in your list?
Number one, I'm of the opinion that spells that can be cast for free are in fact quite good. So you'll see me, even though I have a 5-mana commander, you'll see me on SWAT. And Once Upon a Time kind of falls into that same area with a deck with a land count of 25. Theoretically, 1 in 4 cards should be a land. So Once Upon a Time lets you keep a 1-lander and then probably get a second one before you have a turn. So it fixes, or it can get you a creature off the top. I've lived the dream of getting Once Upon a Time for Dockside. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, wow. Nice.
I just think that the card gives you like filtering that the deck needs pre-Korvold, and then post-Korvold it lets you shuffle away the top of your library if you know what cards are coming, that kind of thing.
If it's in your opening hand, do you cast it right away, or do you wait till your turn?
Well, that's a really good question that you've asked, and the correct answer to that question is you do it when it's funny.
They're like pre-game actions. You're like, I got Once Upon a Time.
Well, I wish I could do it then, but I don't have priority then. But it's fun to do when someone is in, like, if someone's going first, you just be like in your upkeep, and they're like, "What are you gonna do?" And you cast it Once Upon a Time, and that's free information. Don't do that, but generally do it before your turn, or you can even do it in your main phase as long as you haven't cast a spell first. But if you're casting it for free, I would just do it on the end step before your first turn, unless it's funnier to do it before that. If you're in a tournament, don't take the when it's funny advice. Do it at the opportune time.
I see you have the new black tutor, Beseech the Mirror. Have you been able to test that out, or is it just a new include that you've added?
I've been able to cast it one time, and it got and played for free Dockside Extortionist, which is like probably the ceiling of the card in that deck. But the thing is that it also gets you like the One Ring, Ruthless Technomancer. Lots of options are 4 and less. So, and you pretty much always have tokens to sack in the form of either treasures or what have you. There's always Forbidden Orchards running around and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Or just straight up one of your artifacts.
Yeah, you can just, if you have Mana Vault, sack your Mana Vault, whatever.
And the sacking will trigger Korvold, so you get to...
Which is a very nice benefit, yeah.
Yeah. You're on Fatal Push. How's that card? I played it a little bit in Dihada. That was kind of like, with Dihada, you always have like treasures available. So is that kind of why you have it?
Yeah, it's a similar vibe with Korvold. You kind of always have permanents leave the battlefield. One of the things that I really like about Fatal Push is if you're casting it with treasure mana, it hits pretty much everything that is annoying or game breaking. Kills Giant Magistrate, Oppo Agent, even Mind Sensor, those kinds of things. And then it also kills like your opponent's value pieces. It's easily castable for 1 mana. Unuka Lotho or an Esper Sentinel or whatever. Lots of good things at 2 and then up to 4. And more instant speed removal, I don't think is a bad thing, right? Like, I think that I've even seen people playing like Kolagon's Command in Korvold, right? The deck is
Shani
always... Yeah, Shani plays that. The deck is always hungry for removal. There's always something that gets in your way that you gotta kill, so... I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel for removal spells right now.
You're on Food Chain. Did you ever take that out? Has it always been in there?
When Treasure Storm was the popular deck list, I didn't really play the deck. I played Food Chain with like Razaketh and Villas. Deco's list, mostly Demon Chain is what Deco called it.
Yeah, I remember
similar
that.
Lists. And then when Treasure Storm kind of started being the norm, I started playing Flash Hulk. And then Hulk got banned and I went through a dark journey. But we're back on Food Chain.
Yeah.
Is the long and short of it. Food Chain, it makes it so you can win on extremely low dockside counts.
Yeah.
And it gives you if you get Ranger Captained, it gives you a creature-based deterministic win under Ranger Captain. So it's cool. I like it.
One of the best parts of running Food Chain in Jund is that you have access to Squee. Because I've tried running Food Chain in like Atraxa.
Yeah.
And not being able to get those creatures out of the graveyard like Squee is able to it's a pain in the butt. But having Squee here.
Yeah, Food Chain without red is a real pain. Yeah. Food Chain and Korvold, you have lots of enablers for it. You're obviously you've got Entomb, you've got Squee, you've got all the different ways to get cards into your graveyard. So Squee is life to Food Chain, I think, honestly. I could not see playing Sans Red Food Chain right now.
So let's say the deck does its thing. How are we ending the game to kill everyone else?
The deck wins in a few different ways. There's always the one that Korvold pilots like to talk about a lot because they're like, oh, we don't play any bad cards to win the game like this. Just Praetor's Grasp, Oracle, and then cast your own Tainted Pact. Dualcaster Mage and Twin Flame. We play all the Twin Flames that win with Dualcaster Mage. Twin Flame, Salt and Half, Heat Shimmer.
Okay, yeah. You're on Salt and Half.
Yeah. So you can always get the Dualcaster Mage thing. The cool thing is Dualcaster Mage plus Saw and Half plus any spell is fun. Lightning Bolt is a thing that people use, or uh, whatever else, Assassin's Trophy to nuke every permanent, and that kind of thing. If you're cool, Mayhem Devil, Ruthless Technomancer, Skirk Prospector, and Dockside Extortionist.
Yeah.
And you don't even need the Mayhem Devil. Like, you just draw your deck with Korvold with that loop, and then you can kill everybody with a big finale of devastation if you want to, or what have you. You got lots of options, but the way that I like to kill people is certainly with the Technomancer loop if I have it available to me. And then the other way to win the game, honestly, and it's the way that I've won the game before, Tainted Pact away most of your library and then punch everybody with a very large dragon.
Is there anything else that we missed that you maybe want to highlight?
I play Orcish Bowmasters in my list, but I think it should probably be Burgi. Okay. It's a fine card. It's good. It even gives you like a token to sack every once in a while, which is fine. Mm-hmm. But I feel like if you're on Necropotence as I am, Burgi is probably the better option in that slot. And I think that's probably what I will be going back to.
If you'd like to check out this deck list, you can find the link in the video description down below. On your show, you like to highlight some things maybe outside of the realm of Magic that your guest is interested in. Is there anything that you have going on, or Lorcana or Baldur's Gate or something on the computer that you've been interested in recently?
Yeah, so I played a ton of Baldur's Gate 3. I think I want to say I was above 40 hours on my most recent save. And I played a ton of early access. I've had early access since pretty much the game was put into early access. So I've played the intro to Baldur's Gate like between 15 and 25 times. So I'm a little burnt out on Baldur's Gate, but I do love the game. I want to start a new save though, but I'm dreading going through the intro sequence again, so we'll see. But otherwise, I've been really enjoying Starfield. I've been playing that since the 1st of September. I got the early access. I've been loving being a spaceman. I don't play a ton of video games, so something has to be like very specific to grab me in that way.
Yeah.
And Starfield has done it. I thought that I was a Warframe fan, but it turns out I just want to be in outer space. So Starfield has my heart right now.
I'd join you, but I'm still waiting on Star Citizen. That should happen.
Oh my gosh!
Sometime soon. I've
2026.
Pre-ordered some ships, and I'm ready to go.
To get my space game fix, I was playing Elite for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Elite Dangerous, doing the space trucker sim in Elite Dangerous. That was fun. Star Citizen. I hope that Star Citizen comes out because I would like to play it. Robert Space Industries needs to get a move on because I think they've gotten more funding than any other Kickstarter thing. And
thank you so much for joining us tonight, Scoots. If you want to do a little bit of where can the people find you, and do you have any Eminence events coming up that you can share with us?
Absolutely. So you can find me on the internet on Twitter at It's Me Scoots. And that's pretty much where I am on social media. You can also find me in person at most East Coast Eminence events. Speaking of Eminence events, on the East Coast, the 16th of September, I don't know if this will come out before then, but the 16th of September we have in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania, the Bonfire, which is just like kind of a celebration of gaming and like hanging out. So no pressure to get there. There is a small cEDH event happening there, which I am playing in. A small tournament, a 64 cap tournament that I am playing in. And there is coming up in November the TopDeck.gg Expo. It is our real celebration of like card games on the whole. I think there are Yu-Gi-Oh, One Piece, and Lorcana events, as well as Magic events. And that's happening in Atlanta, Georgia in November. You can go to topdeck.gg to see that. And I'll be there too. And I think I'm also playing in that one. So look for me on my tournament grinder arc. I'm back. I am tired of being disrespected because I don't play tournament cEDH. I am going to go wipe the floor with some people and then retire again. So, awesome. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
Thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.